Ladies and gentlemen, Jalen Brunson, your most recent player of the week, and it's definitely deserved. Captain Clutch is at its finest. After the Knicks' recent stretch of relatively close games, the Knicks right now are on a good run, and it only gets better since we've become healthy with Mitchell Robinson back in the rotation, helping the Knicks go 2-0 since he has returned. But like I said, in the last few games, the Knicks have been winning some very close calls, continuing their undefeated stretch in overtime, beating the likes of the Miami Heat that love to overachieve when they play against us, taking out a Western Conference top team like the Memphis Grizzlies. All this after dropping two very key games against the Cleveland Cavaliers and Boston Celtics. The Knicks right now are trying to figure themselves out now more than before, since we are slowly becoming complete. I mean, we're basically complete right now with Mitchell Robinson back in the fold.
No excuses. I repeat, no excuses.
But with the California trip right around the corner, basically starting the night that this video is uploaded in Golden State, it's time for a lot of things to come together. Mitchell Robinson, will him and Karl-Anthony Towns play together? OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges. Which version are we gonna get of these guys? We've had some very high highs, especially with OG Anunoby in the last few games, and we had some really low lows with the two of them. Mikal Bridges has been the definition of inconsistent. I am the president of Bridges Hive, but he is not making me look good. Which version of those guys are we going to get going forward, going into the playoffs? Are we going to start to see his minutes go up? Because McBride has only been a positive light for this team, but it feels like he just does not get that role when we need him the most. Unlike the game against Miami, where we saw Deuce close out and we saw great minutes from him. And also, the Knicks have two free roster spots. Excuse me, as the making of this video, the Knicks have one free roster spot, as we just used the last one on a player already. Let's talk about him. Let's talk about who else we should get. A lot of things to recap on today's video. Let's lock in. Let's get into it. Run the intro. What's going on, CK Crew? Your boy CK2K, and welcome back to another video. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Don't forget to like this video. My apologies for not uploading at all in February. The reoccurring meme has become that, I forget my password from time to time, and when I remember it, I upload. Hilarious. So my apologies to you guys for the inconsistencies. I'm like Mikal Bridges, bro. I'm Mikal Bridges Hive president. I gotta upload videos like Mikal Bridges has good offensive games. Roasting my own favorite Nick. Too far! But starting this month, we will be uploading 2 times a week. Every Tuesday, every Thursday, look from a video from your boy CK2K. Enough of that, let's talk about our New York Knicks. Now, we are officially 2-0 since the big Mitch, the Blockness monster, has returned. It's been nice to see. We love what we saw out of him in the Memphis Grizzlies game. It was immediate impact when Mitchell Robinson was on the floor. You already see the difference from when he was off, from when he was on. It felt like the Grizzlies were scoring with ease in the paint, but the minute Mitchell Robinson was out there, it was just a way different story. And in Miami, it was a similar situation. I feel like Miami still had a way of figuring out how to get to the open man, attacking our weak points defensively, but they don't have a Jalen Brunson on the team, which led to us winning that game. But the point of the matter is, Mitchell Robinson's impact is being seen immediately already, as well as it's only been in such a small sample size, because Mitchell Robinson has not played more than around 16 minutes in the 2 games that he played in, and not total in each night. So Mitchell Robinson, as you can tell, Tom Thibodeau didn't say officially there was a minutes restriction, but we're seeing that there's an unofficially official minutes restriction with Mitchell Robinson, as they're trying to integrate him back into the roster, which is fine. But like I said, in the 2 games, you're already seeing the impact of Mitchell Robinson in the paint. We're seeing the fact that teams that are so used to attacking the paint and taking advantage of our weak points, which has unfortunately been Karl-Anthony Towns, or going right after Josh Hart, or going right after Jalen Brunson, they're able to score within the paint with ease, and it's been an issue for us. But once Mitchell Robinson's out there, you're starting to see that they're finding other ways, and they're gonna have to beat us from the 3 more consistently. And I feel like with Mitchell Robinson being back, we're going to see the defense of this team pick back up. I feel like with Mitchell Robinson, that only amplifies what you can get from OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. I mean, hell, you saw in those final minutes for the Miami Heat game, there was no concern about being, blown blown by or a player going past you, because if you go past you, there's Mitchell Robinson down there waiting for you. And you saw the confidence in which OG Anunoby locked up both Tyler Hero in some instances. And hell, he was doing a great job against Bam Adebayo down the stretch. And a lot of those times we did see Mitchell Robinson on the floor in the very end moments, which led to that. But the real question I think a lot of Knicks fans have, myself included, is when are we going to see that infamous combo of Mitchell Robinson and Karl-Anthony Towns? Now, I'm not expecting it to happen right now with Mitchell Robinson coming off the bench. I don't think we're going to see Tom Thibodeau running too many creative rotations right now with Mitchell Robinson. It's going to take some time before we get to that point. Right now, Tibbs just cares about getting his reps, doing what he has to do, being the backup big. Basically, in instances that you saw Precious Achiuwa put in before he started getting more confident and playing Precious with Karl-Anthony Towns as of late. I think that that's right now where Tom Thibodeau's at. Maybe, hopefully, by the end of this California trip, we'll start to see the rotation of Cat and Mitchell Robinson playing together. But personally, it would be great to see them together sooner rather than later. But again, matchup is also a big deal. Some of these teams play a wing at the 4 position nowadays. I mean, Boston Celtics have Jason Tatum playing the 4. I don't know if that's something you want to see going forward, where you would have Karl-Anthony Towns guarding Jason Tatum. I'm not sure if that's a good matchup on our end. You much rather have OG Anunoby play the 4. So it's an interesting conversation to have right now, and I think Tom Thibodeau is trying to figure that out in what he's going to do going forward. But what says you? Do you believe that going forward it is just a foregone conclusion that it should be Mitchell Robinson and Karl-Anthony Towns playing the 4 and the 5? Or do you think that, it depends on the night? Do you think Tom Thibodeau gets creative enough? Do you think Tom Thibodeau gets creative enough where some nights it's going to be the 2 of them starting, and other nights you might see OG Anunoby back at the 4 while Karl-Anthony Towns and Mitch go back and forth at the center position? Let me know your thoughts about where the starting lineup should be, what the starting lineup should be, in the comments below. We could talk about that later. Right now, I don't think that's going to be a focus. We could probably talk about that in a future video. Right now, it's mainly about getting Mitchell Robinson healthy and ready to go and get to a point where he can start getting his minutes up to a better spot. But speaking of OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, we can talk about how they could be a lot better, even though they've been pretty solid for us on the defensive end for the most part. But the issue we have with our WingStop combo is the inconsistencies. Every night we're playing the game of which version of Mikal are we going to get? Which version of OG are we going to get? OG Anunoby in the last 2 outings has been the version that we really like. The version we saw at the beginning of the season, where people like myself were arguing that he should be in the conversation for the All-Star. But then immediately when we start talking about All-Star OG Anunoby, he vanished. He's, putting up like 10 points, 8 points, shooting 2 for 18 and stuff like that. And then defensively, where you're expecting him to be this defensive juggernaut, then he just falls apart and he's not doing anything defensively. And we're talking about that with OG. You got to say that times 2 with Mikal Bridges. And mind you, everything I'm about to say is coming from a Mikal Bridges fan. Hell, I got a Mikal Bridges Knicks jersey in my closet because I was so excited about the pickup. But Mikal Bridges in his time with the New York Knicks has been nothing but disappointing thus far. Yes, he had great moments. You can tell that he has the ability to be a solid scorer for this team. I mean, his resume precedes itself on both ends, defensively and offensively. But for whatever reason, I don't know if it's the fan base, I don't know if it's the jersey, I don't know what it is. Mikal Bridges just seems to not be at that level that we've seen Mikal Bridges in the past when he was in a Phoenix uniform. Hell, the last few years in a Brooklyn uniform when he's the #1 scorer, he's having no problem scoring in the mid-range, scoring from the 3 ball. Right now, it's been really inconsistent. Mind you, he leads the NBA in corner 3s, and he's one of the highest percentages in the mid-range. But where his averages are at right now, it's a little bit concerning because of, well, the thing that you guys like to keep bringing up, what we gave up to get him. But also, I will say this, I feel like a lot of you guys like to compare these guys to players and dudes that have been on teams for a longer period of time. We talk about, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. They've been on the Celtics their entire careers. Mikal Bridges has literally just been here a few months. OG Anunoby we just talked about his year anniversary with the team, just re-signed, now learning to play with these guys. There's a lot of things that come with the chemistry. And I will also say too, if Mikal Bridges is not even playing that great and playing pretty poorly, but yet this is the best Knicks record we've had in the last few years to this point in the season, hate it or love it, you got to be pretty happy with the fact that is only up from here, and the Knicks are playing as well as they're playing right now, whether you want to hate it or love it. It's just the facts. Also, facts are they gotta be more consistent. We got to see both of these guys be way more consistent for their roles. Jalen Brunson has been phenomenal offensively, but we need these guys to be a lot more dependable defensively. Thank God we've had those back-to-back game winners defensively from Mikal Bridges. We know he has that. We just saw OG Anunoby go Super Saiyan against the Miami Heat down the stretch, and also making a big game-winning bucket against the Memphis Grizzlies the game before that. So we know these guys have the moments, but it's just the overall consistency we want to see from these two guys going forward, so you're not worried about which version of OG or which version of Mikal you're going to get going forward. All in all, long term, like the great Chuck D has been saying all the time in the play-by-play chats, I'm not worried about what these guys are going to look like in the playoffs. I really feel like in a 7-game setting, when they hit the lethal shooter talking about, I understand it now, I'm not really worried about these guys defensively. I feel like when they know what their matchups are going to be, when they know who they're going to be guarding on a nightly basis, they're going to be locked in and they're going to have it figured out in a 7-game series. Right now, obviously, hot and cold a lot. It's going to take time. I bring this up to ask you guys, what's your temperature? Are you guys all the way in on the negative side, saying that these guys are a waste of money or a waste of picks, we need to flip them for something else? Or do you guys see the vision long term that they will be just fine as our wings going forward? I'm not really tripping about it. Like I said, if this is considered inconsistent and the Knicks are playing as great as we played, yes, we have not done great against OKC, Boston, and Cleveland, but if we're still one of the best records in the NBA and these two guys have been inconsistent, you got to take that and be pretty happy about it, because you know it can only go up from here, and God only knows what that then turns this Knicks team into more so going forward. But that's just my opinion. I know you guys are going to be a little bit more critical. Let me know in the comments below. And last but not least, let's talk about the roster moves. We freed up 2 spots after we got rid of Jacob Toppin. We are now topping lists. And then we got rid of Matt Ryan, not the NFL quarterback, but the shooter Matt Ryan, as both of those guys got jettisoned by the New York Knicks over the weekend. And now just yesterday we saw that we picked up wingman MarJon Beauchamp. Now he was from the Milwaukee Bucks, drafted by the Milwaukee Bucks initially, then got traded to Los Angeles, where I thought that he was going to get an opportunity, but the Clippers are too deep of a team. They get rid of him, and the Knicks take advantage and sign him on a 2-way. Now, here's the thing. I like this move. I just don't think it makes sense at the same time. Does that make sense? I like the move because I think Beauchamp has not gotten the opportunity that he should have got. This dude is pouring and oozing with potential. This dude is a solid athletic wing. The jump shot is still a work in progress, but it can do something defensively. I feel like he has the tools to be a solid defender at that position. He's 6'7", fits a need. The problem is he's still young, still developing, and we know Tom Thibodeau, that's not his forte, giving those kind of guys opportunities. So I don't understand why we went with this down at this point in the season. If we were going to get Beauchamp and he was going to play like about 5 minutes, or maybe he takes the Landry Shamet minutes and you're going to give him opportunity, that'd be great. But I don't foresee that happening when we had Pacome Daddier on our bench this entire time, who is a very similar prospect, a guy that is young, that has all this potential, and every opportunity he has gone on the floor, he has thrived in it, but for some reason still can't break rotation. You just got to believe that under Tom Thibodeau, Beauchamp isn't gonna get much opportunity. Now I get the wing depth. Maybe they just want to lock him in and then just hone him in Westchester to then hopefully next season lock him into a contract and see what he's about. That's all I could imagine. But I feel like at this point of the season, we need to make sure that we are fully gunned from top to bottom, where I was thinking that with these last 2 spots, we would just keep it simple and sign in-house and get the favorite TJ Warren and then possibly a Moses Brown. So we're solid at the big man position, all the way from Mitchell Robinson to Precious Achiuwa, Ariel Hukporti, and then Moses Brown on the rotation as well. And then you got TJ Warren, who is a vet and also be a scoring option. So if we need that offense, if there's injuries, TJ Warren could be a part of that. I feel like it just was no brainer. If you even want to get funky with it, you can go Chuma Okeke. I loved Chuma Okeke when we picked him up last year. We just never gave him a shot, which I felt like Okeke was a perfect definition of a Tom Thibodeau player, just could not break the rotation. Loved what he did when he was in Orlando and got some minutes, but of course they got younger players, younger pieces that overtook his minutes, which makes sense. They also got healthy, makes sense. So I thought Chuma Okeke would be a guy that would be arguably in our rotation right now. I mean, shout out to Landry Shamet. I like Landry Shamet, but I like Landry Shamet when he plays his position. Landry Shamet was playing the 2, sometimes the 1. Landry Shamet would be nice, but the fact that he's playing the 2 and the 3, a lot of the 3 more than the 2, I don't like it. Shamet out there guarding Jaylen Brown Brown doesn't make sense. So if you snatch Shamet out, use Chuma Okeke, and now you got a formidable defender out there, a guy with some experience, then maybe we have a conversation. My opinion was I was looking at TJ Warren, Okeke, or Moses Brown. We still don't know what they're gonna do with that final spot that we got as of me making this video right now. Probably by the time I upload this, they've made their decision today. So forgive me in the comment section if that decision was already made. But me, I would have gone with either Okeke or Warren and Moses Brown. But they decided to go with Beauchamp. How you feel about it? I like Beauchamp. I just don't like him for what this team is right now, for a Tom Thibodeau-led New York Knicks. Beauchamp's just not going to get an opportunity. If I'm wrong, I would be very happy. What you say on Beauchamp? You like the move? Doesn't make sense? Doesn't it make sense? Let everything that we talked about in this video, your thoughts, be known in the comment section below. What's your thoughts about everything mentioned in this video? Mitchell Robinson, the WingStop consistencies and inconsistencies, and the pickup of MarJon Beauchamp and who we should be picking up as well with our final spot. Let it all be known in the comment section below. But if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell. Don't forget to like this video. I will see you guys over on KFTV for the Knicks versus Warriors play-by-play. It's your boy CK. I'll see you in the next one. Let's get it. New video on Thursday. Thursdays, baby. Get the word out. We back, baby. We back. I'm out. Peace.